Good morning, students. So, I welcome you all to the session of biology. Okay, now, students, I would like to announce something. Now, the CBSE has excluded some part of the portion of our lesson control and coordination. It has been excluded, that means, it has been removed out from this year's syllabus, and the part which has been removed out from this year's syllabus, so that is shown in the slide now, and that part which is removed is from our lesson control and coordination, which we were studying in the previous sessions, correct? Now, in control and coordination in plants and animals, students, you the part which has been removed out, which has been excluded, includes one, tropic movement in plants, and introduction to plant hormones. Since that part is removed, we are not doing a video on it. Okay, and the other parts on which the video has been done and it has been removed is control and coordination in animals, nervous system, voluntary, involuntary and reflex action, that is voluntary movement, involuntary movement and reflex action, chemical coordination, that is a control and coordination by hormones, that is the animal hormones. So that part has been excluded from this year's syllabus. Okay, now other than this, so this is for the lesson control and coordination. Now there's another lesson, that is heredity and evolution. Now in that lesson heredity and evolution, the part which is removed is the basic concepts of evolution. The introductory part of evolution is there, that is the basic concept of evolution. That part is been excluded, that has been removed out from this year's syllabus. Okay, so now students, since we don't have tropic movement in plants and introduction to plant hormones, we will now not continue with the lesson control and coordination, but we will start with a new lesson of biology, and that is the lesson number 15. Now before I begin with the lesson number 15, okay, now let us talk about our surrounding, correct? Now what is another word for surrounding in biology? Now another word for surrounding in our biology is our environment. Now it is very essential that we keep our surrounding clean. If our surrounding is clean, in that case we will be healthy, and if we are healthy, then we will be wealthy, correct? So to be healthy and wealthy, it is very essential that we keep our surrounding, that is our environment, clean. So in today's lesson, we will be studying about our environment. So the name of our lesson is our environment. Now in this slide you can see, students, you can see this is the earth. You can see this is the aquatic environment. On this you can see this is a terrestrial environment, you can see. Okay, you can see the different type of factories releasing out the pollutant, and these pollutants are actually causing harm to our environment, which we will see in the further part of the lesson. Okay, so our lesson today is our environment. Okay, so let's start with the lesson. Yeah, now what is our environment? When we have to say the surrounding area of an organism is called as its environment. That is a definition, that is just the meaning of what is environment. Now when you go to define environment, it is the sum total of everything around an organism, including both living and non-living components. Now if you are sitting in a garden, that garden is your environment, that is your surrounding. So when you are in a garden, at that time the non-living part and the living part is a part of your environment. That is the trees, the grasses are the living part, which is your environment. At the same time in the garden, what else do you see? You get fresh air, you see the soil over there, correct? So all these are what? Non-living component. So that living component and non-living component will be a part of your environment if you are sitting in a garden. So like that, wherever place you go, your surrounding areas will be your environment, and in your environment there will be a living component and there will be a non-living component. Now the living and non-living components both influence the environment. Okay, yes. Now let's go to the next slide. Yes. Now let's study about the components of the environment. We have seen that the components include the living and non-living. Now the components of the environment can be classified into two types, as the abiotic component and the biotic component. As the name suggests, biotic, that means something which has got life. Means what? Absence. So abiotic means no life. So the non-living components of an environment is called as a abiotic component, whereas the living component of an environment will be called as a biotic component. Okay. Now students, here you have a picture of a non-living components, different type of non-living component I have listed over here. So you can see here, you can see this is the sunlight. Now when I say sunlight, the sunlight, light is always related to temperature. So sunlight and temperature are the abiotic component. Wind is an abiotic component. Rain is abiotic. Water, soil is abiotic. Now you can see the mountain over here, the height of the mountain, the people who are staying at a higher level in a mountain, so that height is going to influence their life. So height is an environmental factor here, abiotic. Now at the same time you can see this mountain is having a slope. The slope is also an environmental factor. So all this, the height of a place, the slope of a place, the sunlight, the temperature, the wind, the rain, the water, the soil, the type of the soil, the texture of the soil, the pH of the soil, all these are nothing but the abiotic components, are the abiotic characters of a particular environment. Okay, so now let us go to see the abiotic component in detail. Okay. Abiotic component, they are the non-living factors that affect the environment. Okay, now climatic factors like sunlight, wind, water and temperature. Physiographic factors like the height and slope of a place, which I discussed about, the height of the mountain and the slope of the mountain. And edaphic factors like that of the minerals, the presence of minerals, because depending upon the minerals the soil is going to have different color. So that is the presence of mineral, texture of the soil and its pH. Okay. Students, now let's go to the biotic components of an environment. Now what are the biotic components of the environment? The living factors or the living organisms of the environment are called as biotic factors. Now that living organism is also going to affect the environment. Now let us study the different type of biotic factors. To study the different type of biotic factors, here let us look into this picture now. Here you can see the biotic factor, that is a plant. So different type of plants in material, whether it is grass, whether it is a herb or a shrub or a big tree, these plants are the biotic component because they have life. So here I have shown you grasshopper, but not only grasshopper, it includes all different type of insect. Then you can see a bird is a biotic component. The reptiles are examples of biotic component. And then here you have finally the owl. It is a carnivorous animal and that is also a biotic component. So in material, whether it is a herbivore or a carnivore or an organism, autotrophic organism like that of a plant, all these are living organisms of an environment, and that living organism of the living component of an environment may be called as the biotic components. So these are some of the biotic components which you have seen. Yeah. So biotic factors, these are the living factors or living organisms that affect a particular environment. How it is going to affect the biotic and abiotic, how they are going to affect the environment, that we will see in the further part of the lesson. Okay. Now, what are the biotic components? The biotic component includes the living organisms like plants. I told you a variety of plants, that is, as I told you, the grass, the shrubs, the herbs and the trees, everything will come. Insects, birds, reptiles, and even including parasites and decomposers. All these are the biotic factors. Parasite, all of you know, parasitic worms are there, like the roundworms and the tapeworm. They are also living organisms, so they are also the biotic factors of an environment. At the same time, in an environment there are different type of decomposers, like that of the mushroom or fungi. Fungi is a decomposer, correct or not? There are different type of worms which will help in decomposing. All these are also the living components of the environment, and they are also included in the biotic factors. So that was regarding the biotic factor. Now let us go to the next part, that is the waste. Okay, now a waste is a part which pollutes our environment, which harms our environment. So what is basically a waste? The waste are the useless, unwanted, they are the useless or the discarded materials. Like for example, you are eating a packet of wafer. After eating the wafer, that packet becomes a useless, it becomes a discarded material. Now you are drinking you are sipping a cool drink. After sipping a cool drink from the can is emptied, and that can later on becomes a waste. So waste are the useless or the discarded materials. Now the waste can be solid, liquid, or gaseous in nature. So here I have the picture of certain solid waste here. Here I just enlarge this picture so you can see it properly. So now this is the solid waste. Solid waste is usually the garbage which you produce in the house is an example of solid waste. The unwanted paper, trash which is there, the peels of vegetables which you throw, all these are the solid waste. Now this you can see, this is a liquid waste. Does the house produce a liquid waste? Yes, the house produces liquid waste. When we wash our vessels, when we clean our home, at that time whatever waste is liberated, that forms your liquid waste. And a large amount of liquid waste is produced from homes, it is produced from hotels, it is produced from hospitals. At the same time, industries also throw out a large amount of liquid waste. Now gaseous waste. Now gaseous waste is usually liberated by factories as well as industries. Now in material, whether it is a solid waste, whether it is a liquid waste or gaseous waste, we can classify the waste into two types. Broadly, the waste can be classified into two types. So let us see the two types of waste, how the classification is. So the waste is classified, if the wastes are classified into two types. One is called as a biodegradable waste and the other is called as a non-biodegradable waste. One is called as a biodegradable waste and the other is called as a non-biodegradable waste. So we will study in detail about the biodegradable waste and the non-biodegradable waste. Yeah. Now, what is a biodegradable waste? A biodegradable waste are the waste which can be broken down. Okay, which can be broken down easily by microorganisms. Okay, such a type, so microorganisms like that of bacteria, like that of the different type of fungi is bringing about the breakdown of the waste. That is, it is breaking the waste into simpler substances. So any waste which can be acted upon by the biological agents like the microorganisms and the fungi will be called as a biodegradable waste. Okay, because of the action of this microorganisms and fungi, whatever energy is there in the waste, whatever elements are there in this particular waste, that is returned back to the environment. Okay, that is returned back to the environment. So biodegradable substance act as a medium to return back the nutrients to the environment. Whatever nutrients we have taken after we are dead, we will be acted upon by microorganism and fungi. So whatever the elements and minerals are trapped in our body, that we are returning back to the environment. So dead body of any living organisms is an example of a biodegradable waste. Okay, now here I have taken the simple biodegradable waste. Simple biodegradable waste includes the peels of vegetables and fruits. You can see there's the peels of vegetables and fruit. They can be easily degraded by the microorganism by releasing out enzyme. Fungi and microorganisms like bacteria will release out certain enzyme which will bring about the digestion of these peels of vegetables and fruits, and it will release out the trapped minerals and elements back into the soil. Okay, paper. The paper is made up of cellulose. There are cellulose digesting bacteria in the environment which will easily degrade paper. The same way, wood is also biodegradable. It is a part of a living organ. We have obtained wood from the plant. The plant is a living organism, and wood can also be easily biodegraded, okay, by microorganisms and fungi. Actually, during the rainy season, if the wood is moist, you might have seen the fungal growth on the wood. Okay, so this fungi and all will help in degradation if it is an unwanted log of wood. Okay, unwanted logs of wood are often acted upon by fungi. So, biodegradable waste that can be broken down by biological process or microbial actions are called as a biodegradable waste. Biodegradable substances act as a medium to return back the nutrients back to the environment. Example of a biodegradable waste, that is wood, paper and leather. In the biological process, as I told you, microorganisms like bacteria and decomposers like that of fungi, they release out enzyme and cause the decay and degradation of waste, returning back the trapped minerals and elements back into the earth's surface. Okay, so this was regarding the biodegradable waste. Now let us see the non-biodegradable waste. The waste which cannot be decomposed or broken down by biological process or by microbial actions are called as a non-biodegradable waste. Now example of a non-biodegradable waste, that is the plastic bags, glass bottles, the metallic cans of the soft drinks here you can see. Now these are the things which cannot be broken down by any bacteria or any fungi. That means it cannot be broken down by any of the living organisms into simpler substances. Such waste are called as the non-biodegradable waste. And it is a non-biodegradable waste which is responsible for causing pollution, because it cannot be broken down, so it exists on the earth's surface for a longer time, and when that exists on the earth's surface for a longer time, it would often result in pollution. Okay, so non-biodegradable waste that cannot be decomposed or broken down by biological process or microbial actions are called as non-biodegradable waste. Example, plastic, metal and polythene bags. Now we will look into the next topic. So we saw what is waste. We classify the waste into two types, as biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Now let us go to the next topic. So as I told you, the non-biodegradable waste creates the environmental pollution. Now what is a pollution? And pollution is defined as an undesirable change in the physical, chemical and biological characteristic of air, water and soil. Any undesirable, that is any unwanted change in the physical, chemical and biological character of air, water and soil, you call it as what? Pollution. Okay. Now what are the physical parameters? The color of the air, color of the soil, color of the water. These are nothing but the physical characters. What are the chemical characters for a water? The chemical characters for a water is the presence of a pollutant. Okay, as I told you, the color will change if a pollutant is added. So that is a chemical change. If there is some chemicals released out into the air, what will happen? There will be a smoky appearance in the air, correct? At the same time, if microorganisms are going to be released out, so the biological characters will change. Okay, so here I have a picture here. So here you can see, this is picture 1. This is air pollution. Can you see the constituent of the atmosphere is changing because of the release of smoke? So this is an example of water pollution. You can see so many waste is thrown away. So the physical, chemical and biological character of water is going to change. And this is for the land pollution. You can see so many waste is released here. So what happens? The texture of the soil is going to change, the color of the soil is going to change, the harmful microorganism in the soil can increase. So it is changing the physical, chemical and biological characters of the soil here. So you can see with respect to air, you can see with respect to water, you can see with respect to soil here. So this is regarding pollution. And pollution is usually caused by which type of waste? Non-biodegradable waste, because they cannot be broken down and they will persist or exist on the earth's surface for a longer duration. Now let us study the next part, that is a biosphere and ecosystem. Now what is a biosphere? Biosphere is that part of the earth where life exists. Okay, that part of the earth where the life is existing is called as a biosphere. Now in that biosphere, what we have is an ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Ecosystem is a structural and functional unit of a biosphere. Biosphere is a part where the life is existing on the earth's surface. So that biosphere will be made up of small unit, and that small unit will be called as what you know, ecosystem. Okay, like you will have a pond ecosystem, you will have a garden ecosystem of a garden, you will have an ecosystem of a forest. So these are the structural and functional unit of a biosphere. Biosphere is that part of the earth where life exists, and structural and functional unit of a biosphere is called as an ecosystem. Okay, now ecosystem has an interaction with the food chain and biogeochemical cycle. Now food chain you will study later on in the next sessions. Now students, here you can see an ecosystem. This is a pond ecosystem which you are seeing. So here you can see this is a pond. You can see a variety of fish over here. You can see the bird is ready to feed upon the fish. You can see some of the plants which are growing inside the pond, correct? So this is a pond ecosystem. Now here I have shown an example of a biogeochemical cycle. Now in this biogeochemical cycle, I am telling you I am giving you the explanation of how oxygen is moving from the atmosphere to the living organism and back to the atmosphere. See here now, this is a plant. The plant will carry out photosynthesis. At that time, what is released out? Oxygen. Oxygen is released out into the atmosphere. From the atmosphere, who is going to take it? Different type of animals like human beings are also going to take it. So human beings are taking the oxygen for what? Respiration. When it is undergoing respiration, what is it releasing out? It is releasing out carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide will be taken up by the plant for photosynthesis. Again the plant will release out oxygen. Oxygen will be taken up by the animals for respiration. Respiration, it will release out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will be taken up by the plant. So you saw that there is a cyclic movement of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which will be called as a biogeochemical cycle. And this biogeochemical cycle and food chain, both of them will help in maintaining an ecosystem. Okay, so ecosystem, it is a structural and functional unit of biosphere comprising of living organism and their interaction with food chain and the biogeochemical cycle. Regarding the food chain, we will learn in the next sessions. Okay. Now students, here you are going to study about the types of ecosystem. There are two types of ecosystem. One is called as a natural ecosystem and the other is called as the artificial ecosystem. Now in case of the natural ecosystem, a biological environment which is occurring in nature. You have not made it. I have not made it. It is occurring actually in the nature. Such a type of ecosystem will be called as a natural ecosystem. Okay, natural ecosystem, I have given the different example here. This is an ocean. Did I make an ocean? Did you make an ocean? No, it's made by the nature. So natural ecosystem. Forest, natural ecosystem. Desert, natural ecosystem. So these are the examples of natural ecosystem. Those ecosystems which are persisting on the earth's surface, which are freely occurring by in the nature, will be called as a natural ecosystem. Now let's go to the next one. If there is natural ecosystem, just opposite to the natural, we have the artificial ecosystem. As the name is such, it's artificial ecosystem. It is an ecosystem which is man-made, which is made by human beings. Now man has made it either for the commercial, man has made it for the commercial benefit, or for their entertainment, commercial basis and entertainment. Okay, so that will be the artificial ecosystem. Okay, so artificial, here the artificial ecosystem I have given here. Students, you can see this is an aquarium. You can see people are watching those fishes inside the aquarium. So this is for entertainment, this is for enjoyment. Okay, this is for aesthetic value, that is beauty. And now this is a cropland, this is a tree plantation, that is for commercial basis. And again here you have a garden which is designed by human being. So aquarium, a cropland, a garden are the examples of the artificial ecosystem which is man-made. Okay, it is made for the benefit of human beings. Okay. So artificial ecosystem, ecosystems that are made by man for commercial or other benefit is known as a artificial ecosystem. These ecosystems are modified by humans for their own benefit and can be terrestrial or aquatic. Example, aquarium, cropland, gardens. Okay, so that marks the end of today's session, and now you have some assignment questions. As some assignment, define the following: biosphere, okay, is that part of the earth where life exists. Pollution, any undesirable change in the chemical, physical and biological characters of air, water and soil is called as pollution. What is an ecosystem? The structural and functional unit of a biosphere is called as an ecosystem. There are two types of ecosystem: a natural ecosystem and an artificial ecosystem. Next, distinguish between biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste with examples. All of you know biodegradable means those waste which can be easily broken down by microorganisms and fungi. They release out enzyme and bring about the breakdown of this waste. Non-biodegradable, the waste which cannot be broken down into simpler substances by microorganisms and fungi will be called as a non-biodegradable waste. It is a non-biodegradable waste which usually causes pollution. Okay, so that's all for in today's session. Okay, thank you.